I do believe, and I always believe that painting is not dead, has never been dead, and will never be dead.
The first thing you notice when you look at David Stern's work is that if you get up close, you're in a world of potentiality and power, but you can't make sense of it. And then as you begin to back out, literally to back out, figures begin to emerge. And the fact that it has to emerge gives you the sense that it doesn't have permanence of its own. It only appears that way because we stand back from it. But if we were to get closer, it doesn't have innate permanence in and of itself. The material does, but not the shapes, the figures, and the things that we see, which is exactly the Jewish mystical position. That's what got me interested originally. Powerful, isn't it?
What's thrilling about painting is that the moves of someone's hand are going to be frozen in time, and the emotional output is there and will always be there. I choose to work in oil because it was the first material what I got into my fingers, but secondly, I also believe in the originality of paint.
The paint itself has a delicious look to it. As you're walking by it, you see the valleys and the hills and the dales. He trolls it on, you know, he's just very thick, beautiful paint.
I do believe that paints, or oil paint, it's a living being basically. But I have always used a mirror standing like about 20 feet back from me, because I see the composition in a mirror image. So if it feels right in the mirror image, it's more than right in a direct way. I'm walking a lot in the studio, so I'm running back and forth in order to control what I'm doing, but I'm also looking in the mirror while I'm doing it. It's basically a switch between control, which is a look into the mirror, or direct expression of the hand and your mind.
Artistically, David Stern is about the rediscovery of the figure, human figure, okay, after abstraction, but without letting go of it.
It also has a human quality that abstract art has lacked for years.
I try to put the figure back together, and I try to free up the paint itself. Now, my paintings have always been, first of all, they have always been figurative, and secondly, they have always been a little bit on the thick side, though they developed and evolved over time. There are a couple of paintings which have actually a very deep personal connection to my life. Gus was gravely injured in a automobile accident. I was on the scene, and I experienced all that first-hand trauma. In the aftermath of that event, I watched how beautiful his friends, the entire community around him, came together to help him and to help to heal him, basically. This is a tribute to my friend Gus, but also to Harry, who was one of his closest friends and who was there all the time for him for the past 2.5, 3 years. And so this was very important to me to do this, to get it out of my system somehow.
It evokes the incident. It evokes the very same incident that was in the past, but makes it present again. So this guy's gonna have it in his house.
These paintings are part of a small series I did in the aftermath of 9/11. I found that since I have been looking at the population of New York City for so long, I started to look at them now, and I saw all these images of people gathering in front of these makeshift memorials and in front of fire stations and all that. I looked at that pretty closely and found that was a way I could do something about this, to look at the people who have been witnesses to this incredible event.
This captures how you felt, there's no question about that. With the gatherings, there's an artist who puts us there at the moment of mourning, of loss, of tragedy.
And I saw this drawing, and there was one that I loved, which I got, and I love it. It was dated, he did it right after September 11th, 2001, and it's very intense.
I did something which I later called the Daily Drawing Project, where I did a kind of a self-portrait every day. For 1 year I did it completely consecutive. It was an exercise to loosen up my drawing hand, so to speak. And I started in the morning. In the beginning it was quite fairly insane because the rules were that I had to finish that drawing on that day. And no matter what it was, how it developed, I had to finish it. So it was a little bit of pressure I put myself under. Sometimes I do it I could do it in 5 minutes, and sometimes I spent the entire day. I started to write the front page weather report of the New York Times on it, and it's a short poetry actually. It says like whatever, sunny and turning colder or something like that. And so I had this 3-word, 4-word poetry and wrote this on these drawings. And sometimes also I wrote the headlines and stuff like that. So, but the idea in general was to combine the inner reality with outer realities.
Somehow or other, what David Stern is able to do that makes his work, I think, spiritually powerful, is he captures the flux of experience. Not by making it into the picture of a well-defined set of things, but instead by allowing figures to emerge that keep the sense of the flux of experience while they present the humanity, the parts of the face of what that experience is about.
I've never seen an artist that is being so uniquely his.
Someone that I believe is one of the most profoundly spiritual artists that you can see in America today.